Hello, a day with Caleb. Today we are going to talk about why I love Disney so much. And this shirt, if you can't see it, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Thought would be a cool time because that's one of the reasons we'll talk about, and Mary Poppins being Disney. Uh, so let's dive right into the reasons that I love Disney so much. Number one is one of these reasons they've bought Star Wars, which Josh is obsessed with. I do enjoy them very fondly, especially as a kid. They bought Pixar, a juggernaut as far as the animation industry. Pixar, Toy Story, four of the best films ever made. You could say the trilogy was the best trilogy ever made. Four is a great, great film. You can't find a fault in any one of those. Incredibles, a great film. Most every Pixar film is perfect, almost perfect. There is one black sheep of the family, Good Dinosaur. Do not like that. I shouldn't say I don't like the film, I just do not enjoy it as much as the other, literally every film. Like Cars 2, some say is lesser, I agree, but even that is still better than Good Dinosaur. Anyway, off topic, I would have even enjoyed that lizard movie they were going to make, but then Rango came out, so they didn't want to be similar to another film, kind of like Bugs Life and Ants when they battled it out. Should I comment down below? Should I do a movie where I talk about copycat films? Because I believe there's a lot of copycat films out there. That would be I'm going to write that down. Copycat films. That'd be a future video, not anytime soon. So don't. In the near future, that video will drop. Comment down below your copycat films and why you love Disney. So number one, the acquisitions. Me being and obviously Marvel, we didn't touch on yet. Marvel is the main reason for me. Such a huge comic book fan, and we'll talk more about Marvel in the next video, why I love Marvel, so stay tuned to that. So the acquisitions, the old Disney movies, specifically Haley Mills, she was one of our favorites growing up. Would have had a chance to meet her last year, but then the pandemic happened, so could not meet her. Hoping still one day to meet her. She was great, a great actress, a Disney legend. Parent Trap, all those. You think of Jodie Foster with Freaky Friday. You think of Don Knotts, whether it's Gus or No Deposit, No Return. Then you get to kind of the early mid 90s with Blank Check, a bunch of those films, Big Green, on and on. So the movies, especially the older ones, let's see, yes, this the next reason, the story of Walt Disney, Walter Elias Disney, would later go on Wed Enterprises. They would form based on his initials. But the story, being from Marceline, Missouri, poor farmer father, poverty, had a passion to draw, uh, went off to war, came back with his brother, formed animation studio, did these cool, I believe Alice was her name, live action mixed with animation. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, who remembers him? Actually, the one character that NBC traded the rights back to Oswald. It's a big, go look it up if you haven't heard of the Oswald thing, but a loophole, he had to give Oswald up. We got him back, we shipped, was that Al Roker, the sportscaster? I believe we traded him to NBC for Oswald. So we do have Oswald back. Then the Willie Steamboat, the early Mickey shorts. Anyway, Walt's life was a great story, creating Disneyland, the imagination, the innovation, the Imagineering side of it, all that is great. The Wonderful World of Disney, or some people might know the Wonderful World of Color, would come on every Sunday night. We would watch it after church, turn it on, get pumped about watching Disney, so that was neat. The Disney Channel, growing up in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, so Brink, what's some other ones? Smart House, Susie Q. I actually mentioned that when we met Amy Jo Johnson, and she could not believe anybody remembered that film, but such a great film back in the day. It did not hurt that I had a big crush on the pink Power Ranger. So Susie Q was a good film for me. And pretty solid film as well. Then you had shows like Raven, Even Stevens, Kim Possible, Shipwrecked. I remember very distinctly. We were in the hospital. Our grandfather had throat cancer, so a very sad time. He did pass away, but this movie, Shipwrecked, I remember very vividly because we were there at the hospital during that time. Then the Disney parks, obviously our first trip in 1993, 4.5, going there, our aunts, our one aunt got us in 93, we would later come back around '01 with our other aunt and go. Then we would come back over the years. Now we go on a pretty regular basis. So the Disney parks are a big part of my life. Great memories there. Go with family. I love going with family, friends, showing my knowledge off, or lack of knowledge, but walking around. I remember going back probably 2015. I think it had been about 12, 15 years between trips. We went with our former youth pastor, who grew up as a kid going to Disney World and Magic Kingdom. So I remember him going anywhere we wanted to go. He knew instantly where to go, and I knew right then that I wanted to be that knowledgeable about Disney parks. And I think I am. A couple trips ago, we had our jackets on. It was cold. Our Disneyland jackets, and this this dad and his son came up. He's like, I saw the Disneyland jackets. I knew y'all knew your way around Disney parks, and he asked us where the Pirates or Jack Sparrow show was. And if you don't remember, there was a pirate show next to the ride, and Jack Sparrow would get these kids, and I didn't watch really any of the show. I do remember some of it, but the kid he was going to be part of the show, so we escorted them to that show. He was so grateful, and I remember thinking, that is it. I love Disney history, Disney knowledge, Disney parks. We share that with Dave Simasignus, so that is a special thing. And then just meeting new friends at Disney, that's part of it too, right? Meeting, whether it's fellow YouTubers or people in line you get to know and chat about. You might never remember their name or know who they are, but you had a good conversation or good memory with them. So the Disney parks, touched on that. The rides there, very nostalgia. There's rides there that were there in '93. You preference that or kind of compare that to Universal, and they have nothing, almost nothing from my childhood. There's one ride, E.T., but they don't have Twister, Ride It Out. They don't have King Kong Confrontation. That was due to a fire. The Mummy is my favorite ride there that replaced Kong. So thumbs up there. But you think of the Disney history, they've kept that essence and then added new stuff to it, whether that's the new Tron coaster that's coming or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. You could name several that are new, always advancing, always improving. Walt said that the parks would never be done as long as there was imagination, and I think he is right, because there's always updates and stuff that you can do to improve the guest experience. So the rides, and then we'll end with probably the newest thing, and obviously I loved Disney before, but Disney Plus, the streaming service, is such a great service. Netflix was hit or miss. There wasn't a show where I would tune in each week to watch it. I would just at the end binge it. Disney Plus, and what gets me, or what makes me excited, were all these like docu-series or documentaries, whether that's the Imagineering story or the Gallery or Avengers Assembled, whatever they did, the Inside Pixar story, a lot of great, the prop culture, that's a great show on there. Then WandaVision, such a great show, mixing the TV show genre with Marvel, and kind of bending that together to form a great show. Loki's coming up, Falcon and Winter Soldier. There's a lot of nostalgia on there. The Mighty Ducks, a lot of cool shows. So Disney Plus being the newest, that's fresh on my mind. But all this other stuff too adds up to why I love Disney so much. And hope you do as well. Comment down below your reasons for loving Disney. Maybe you have a park story, something else. Did you watch Wonderful World of Disney / Color? Have you met friends at Disney? Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, share with a Disney lover. Until next time, guys, go to the parks and keep collecting.